Well, now we have the first of two special guest presentations from the political sphere. Firstly, newly elected Federal Liberal Member of Parliament, Keith Wolahan. He holds the Victorian seat of Menzies. Keith is an experienced lawyer, a veteran, and we're privileged to have him here with us this evening. Please welcome Keith Wolahan, MP.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction, and thank you for having me here. It's wonderful to be surrounded by so many special guests, and particularly Bruce and Luke. It's lovely to see Victorian colleagues here on the same table. When I came into the foyer, I remarked that this looks like a very young company, and Jimmy said, no, most of us were born in the 80s. And then I was thinking, as someone born in the late 70s, I think, well, there's this little thing called inflation that none of you have probably experienced before, but we're all about to experience. But before coming here, I looked at your website, and the first thing that struck me was Timmy Cahill looking back at me. Like so many in this room and in my seat of Menzies, where 2/3 of the residents are first or second generation migrants, including 27% of Chinese heritage. I wasn't born here either. And like Jimmy, I'm very proud of my public school education, and your School of Northcote can be very proud of you as one of their alumni. So I think that's a wonderful testament to the public school education in Victoria and Australia. So congratulations, Jimmy. But when I saw Timmy Cahill there, it reminded me of my first question that I had to answer when we had new politician school in Canberra. They hit you up with a form and say, there's all this parliamentary sporting teams that you can join. And they had a list, and then there was a section for football. And that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. So I said, what do you mean by football? And one of the Queenslanders said, well, rugby. And then I said, oh, well, what rugby? And they said, oh, a league. And then the other one said, no, union. And then across the table, I said, no, touch. And then a Victorian yelled out, no, AFL. But I think for this company and for me and for many others, when you say football, you think of Timmy Cahill and you think of actually using your foot. So I think we're all in good company, and that's a fantastic ambassador that you've got. It's easy to look at the brand that you have and the wonderful videos and the sign that you've got on a building, but behind all of those is people. And you can instantly get a feel for a company and the culture that it has. And in the short time that I've met you, Jimmy, and Winston, and your whole team, what struck me is you are professional, you're articulate, you're smart, and you care. And that's a wonderful thing. And it just comes straight out of talking with you and being in this room with you. And we're entering difficult economic times. We have inflation rising, and that will keep rising for the coming months and years. We have supply chain issues that many of your clients will face. And we have other issues that people will look to you to get them through. And what I know as someone who in a past life was in the army and was in Afghanistan, when you head through tough times, what gets you through is the character of the people that you look to. And when I see here tonight and you speaking, Jimmy, and the risks that you've taken and the company that you've built, you're clearly a person of good character, and you will get through these times. Because for those who are older like me, when Australia last saw inflation in high numbers, we saw buildings close, companies leave Melbourne. So it's wonderful to see a company opening up in Melbourne. Because Melbourne is known for coffee and food and sport, but it was also traditionally the home of finance. And that's why the banks have their headquarters here. And we know that finance is the one thing that connects capital to entrepreneurs. And in the 21st century, you also need to have technology. And to see those two things combined, I wish you, Jimmy, and Winston, and your team, and everyone here enormous success. I know you will do well, and thank you for having me.